Here they come.
All right, well, welcome back to another episode of Here They Come. I'm Kate Lockhart.
And I'm Paul Ramlow.
And we're here to bring you all the news in harness racing. First up, there's some big news for horse players out at the Big M. The Meadowlands has now decided they're going to show a television graphic listing which horses drivers chose to drive. By that I mean, in most races, there are several drivers who are named to each horse, and the drivers get to choose their mounts for the race. And so this is something handicappers look for or are interested in terms of where they're going to put their money. Who is it that Yannick thinks has got the best chance tonight? What do you think about that, Paul? Is that something that you take into consideration as you're handicapping races?
Absolutely. I think if you're a fan of a favorite driver, Tim Tetrick, David Miller, George Brennan, anybody like that at the Meadowlands, it's interesting to know that, say, David was put down to drive 3 different horses and he picks a certain horse. And you would say, gee, if David thinks this horse is the best of those 3, then maybe I should think he's the best horse in the race, if you're picking a particular driver.
Oh, yeah, it's no question. The Big M has gone out of their way for handicappers this year by the guaranteed pool for the pick 4, and then they went ahead and increased that pool early on. I imagine they've gotten a lot of action on those bets. I know they had the highest pool ever in the history of the pick 4 this year, so it's worked out well for them.
Yeah, and I think one of the times this will be really interesting information is when we get into stakes season. If there are several divisions or eliminations of a certain race, and say David Miller wins 3 eliminations, well, you know if he picks one of those 3 winners, that's the one he thinks is the best. But I think it's going to be more interesting down the road if you're looking at drivers that finish, say, 2nd or 3rd with multiple horses. So I think it's only the kind of information that people really want to have. Well, Kate, we finally get to find out who Horse of the Year is this Sunday night at Yonkers Raceway, as the Dan Patch Award winners will be crowned, and the Horse of the Year, Trotter of the Year, and Pacer of the Year will also be announced. What do you think of that?
Well, it's always exciting to see what happens at the Horse of the Year banquet. I love seeing all the participants there in their casual clothes or their evening wear, coming out for the event, see how people respond as their horses win. It's great to hear the different comments from the connections. But this year, it feels like maybe the wind's out of our sails a little bit. It's not going to be no surprise. I expect Muscle Hill to walk away with the Horse of the Year honors.
Yeah, most years we've had a lot of competition for Trotter of the Year, Pacer of the Year, and Horse of the Year, but I kind of agree with you. I think Muscle Hill and Well Said on the pacing side pretty much were at the head of their classes throughout the year, and I don't think there should be any surprises when the award winners are announced on Sunday night.
There are some awards I'm looking forward to, though. The Railbird Recognition Awards, which this is the first year they've introduced that. They were voted on by you, the fans, and they went to Horseman of the Year, Fran Azur, and also the event of the year was Muscle Hill's win in the Hambletonian, which was impressive.
Well, Kate, you had a chance earlier this week to speak with Fran about the Railbird Recognition Award and the circumstances behind him receiving those honors.
I'm here with the 2009 Unsung Hero Award winner, as well as the winner of the first Railbird Recognition Award for Horseman of the Year, Fran Azur. How are you today, Fran?
I'm very good, Kate. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks. I'd like to start off by talking about the fair in Barton, Vermont, where you brought your horses Blue Ridge Western and Noble Falcon, as well as drivers Brian Sears and Tim Tetrick, out there for a special race. Can you talk a little bit about that day? How did you come up with the idea for it?
Actually, Kim Brooks, and I saw an article where she was putting on a demonstration of horsemanship and all. She had some farriers come in and whatever, and I read in the paper. And I thought that, it seems like she's doing a nice thing here. Maybe I can help out with the next thing coming up, which a few months later would be the Barton Fair.
That's fantastic. Is that where the idea for the purse subsidy came from as well?
I thought that if we could jazz it up a little bit, to get more publicity for that fair, to get more people back there, more people looking at our race horses and all, we should do that. And that's kind of, I just came up with the idea, maybe I'll spruce up a little bit of the purses and help a little bit with their promotion.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see the way the drivers are willing to give back to the sport.
The reality to me is that it's similar to NASCAR, where they have tremendous followings. And what they have are great athletes, and we have them, Tim and Brian and Dave Palones and all. They have tremendous cars. We have tremendous horses. And they're down-to-earth people. They get out there, and the fans follow them. I just think it would be really nice if some other people did the same thing and made an effort to go to the fans. They're the families that attend the county fairs are the backbone of America. If we got out there more often, maybe we would be less dependent upon, and I say this as respectfully as I can, on handouts from casinos and legislatures.
At the Tattersall's mix sale back in January, you purchased some notable racehorses, including the sales topper 4-year-old pacing horse, Hypnotic Blue Chip. I was wondering, what are your plans for him this season?
6 or 7 nice stake races. Kevin McDermott has been training him. Kevin's a great trainer, and he likes him, says we should do well. But you know how it is. We'll see how it works.
Well, thanks again for speaking with us. Best of luck in 2010, and enjoy the festivities this weekend. And congratulations again on those awards. It's a fantastic honor for you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Kate.
I noticed on the web this week, Kate, a blog that's focused on Canadian gambling now has an interactive Google map showing, of all things, takeout rates at racetracks throughout North America.
Yeah, this is another exciting new item for the horse players out there. They can go to the map. It's a Google map. We're all pretty familiar with those. It's got little stars next to the locations of all the tracks, and when you click on each one, it shows you the takeout rates for the various bets at that track. Now that horse players can bet online and they can bet, a number of tracks throughout North America, it's easy for them to shop around for what the best takeout rates are.
Yeah, it's almost like looking at your weekly grocery store ad and deciding where you're going to do your shopping this week. Now you can shop for great takeout rates as you place your wagers for all the tracks throughout North America.
For you horse players out there, if you'd like to take a look at the map, you can find it at cangamble.blogspot.com.
Well, Kate, I'm sure your phone's going to be ringing off the hook here in the Hoofbeats offices this weekend. The memorabilia contest for the Muscle Hill shoe is coming to a close.
Yep, the entries are due before the award is announced on Sunday night for Horse of the Year. So if you'd like to be entered to win a shoe for Muscle Hill, and this is a real deal shoe, it's got dirt on it, it's sitting at my desk, ready to be sent out to a lucky winner. Or if you'd like to have an opportunity to win one of our second or third place prizes, which are autographed pictures of Muscle Hill and then autographed copies of the February issue of Hoofbeats, which features Muscle Hill on the cover. Be sure to subscribe to Hoofbeats. You can subscribe easily by calling us at 877-800-8782, extension 2, or you can always go online to hoofbeatsmagazine.com.
Yeah, don't be shut out. This is a great item. You want to have an opportunity to win it. Speaking of Hoofbeats Magazine and Muscle Hill, it's time for this week's edition of the Hollywood Minute with Bob Hollywood Heyden and Nicole Krafts, brought to you by Hoofbeats Magazine, reporting with horsepower.
Well, Bob, I'm looking forward to seeing you this weekend when we're both at Yonkers for the Horse of the Year announcement and banquet. And although we don't officially know who Horse of the Year is going to be, I think we both have a pretty good idea.
Yeah, definitely. It should be Muscle Hill. It should be unanimous, too. And early congratulations to all the connections. Tommy Lupontone, Jerry Silva, Greg Peck, Brian Sears. Great year, undefeated. Now, only once in the last 15 years has a Horse of the Year been sired by a Horse of the Year. That's how rare that is, Bunny Lake and Precious Bunny. Now, this is the 7th straight time that a sophomore 3-year-old is being named Horse of the Year. The last time an older horse was Real Desire back in 2002. Now, Valley Victory back in 1989, he's the grandsire of Muscle Hill. He's got a big tie-in here. He was undefeated himself, 7-for-7 in a season cut short. Muscle Hill is 12-for-12. Valley Victory's daughter, also Horse of the Year, Continental Victory in 96, and his grandson, Glide Master, Horse of the Year back and Triple Crown winner in 2006. Now, the two fewest starts for a Horse of the Year is 12, Continental Victory and Muscle Hill, 12 starts. That ties the record for the fewest. He's also the first trotter ever to go undefeated and be named Horse of the Year. The 5th time it's happened overall, but the very first trotter years. Now, for the 5th straight year, this is pretty interesting. The Horse of the Year did not miss hitting the board in any race. This is the longest streak ever for Horses of the Year. Last time a Horse of the Year missed the board in any race, you have to go back to 2004 for Rainbow Blue when she made a break in the Mistletoe Chalet. Brian Sears, 2nd time he's been named Driver of the Year. Both times he had the Horse of the Year same year, Rock and Roll Hanover and now Muscle Hill.
Well, Muscle Hill, of course, is not the only one who's getting an award on Sunday, and I know somebody pretty special who's getting one. Tell me about the award that USWHA's giving you.
Well, that's the President's Award. It's a big honor. It's especially interesting to me because Yonkers was the very first harness track I ever attended. Monmouth was the first racetrack. But back in 71, remember, I was only 14, 15 years old, and you're not supposed to be in the track unless you're 18 those days. So I went to Yonkers then, and some of the big names that I grew up with, some of my favorite people in the business are all going to be there, too, on Sunday night. Hervé Filion, Mike Lachance, Benny Webster, A lot of names like that. So it's going to be an exciting night and a big honor overall.
Well, I look forward to seeing you.
That'll be great.
I'm happy to hear Bob's going to be honored this weekend by USWHA. That's exciting news.
Yeah, it's a great night. I wish I was going to be there, but unfortunately I won't. But I will be able to live vicariously through our producer, Rich Johnston, who, along with photographer Mark Hall, will be there for some great information that will be available on the USTA website.
Yeah, I love the coverage those guys do. I'm looking forward to see the special report of Ion Harness Racing, which will be taking our place next week.
We're not going to be on next week?
No, it's going to be John Pavlak and Ion Harness Racing. I know everyone will miss us, but we'll see you 2 weeks from now. That wraps up another episode of Here They Come. We'd like to thank Fran Azur, Bob Hollywood Heyden, Nicole Krafts, and our producer, Rich Johnston. Be sure to say hi to him if you see him at Yonkers this weekend. Just a friendly reminder that you'll be getting a special report from Ion Harness Racing next week, so we'll see you in a couple of weeks. I'm Kate Lockhart.
And I'm Paul Ramlow. Thanks for joining us for another exciting episode of Here They Come.